Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. For today's box opening, we've got a Throne of Eldraine collector booster box, fully sealed and intact, ready to go. Let's crack this thing open and see if we can find some value. I don't know about you all, but I'm super excited for the new Wilds of Eldraine coming out in, I don't know, 4 to 6 months. Throne of Eldraine was the first set to feature a collector booster box. And there's a ton of good cards, even though we are starting to see a few reprints from the set, such as the Great Henge coming out in the Lord of the Rings. This is going to be quite fun to open. So let's crack this thing open. Let's go back and relive the first collector booster box of Magic and see what kind of value we can find inside. All right, so this one kicks off with a Witch's Cottage. Then we're going to see a Curious Pair, followed by a Merfolk Secret Keeper in the Showcase treatment. Then we're going to see a Barge Inn with a Queen of Ice. Then we're going to see a Baked Into Pie, Grum Gully the Generous. Then we got Oakham Adversary with an Order of Midnight. And we're going to see a Hypnotic Sprite in non-foil showcase, followed by a Foulmire Knight, also non-foil, with a Rosethorn Acolyte. And then we're going to see a Banish into Fable coming in as our rare from the main set, followed by Torbun Thrain of Red Fail coming in extended art. Very cool to see this. Value currently just over $5. And then we get a Sundering Stroke in foil borderless. Very nice. And in the back, we're going to see a rat and a food token. All right, amazing. Pack number 1 down. Let's move on to pack number 2. The most valuable card in the set is the Great Henge. So hopefully we get 17 of those. So we got ourselves a Fling here, followed by a Mistford River Turtle. Then we're going to see a Reeve Soul with an Idyllic Grange. Then we've got a Silver Flame Ritual, followed by a Thrill of Possibility, Cauldron Familiar, Flaxen Intruder. Then we get a Mysterious Pathlighter, followed by Rim Rock Knight in non-foil. Straighten up my piles here a second. Then we get the Queen of Ice in showcase with a Silver Flame Squire, a Garrison Griffin. Then we're going to see the Hushbringer coming in borderless. Very nice to see that. The Hushbringer is currently valued over $10. And then we're going to see the Royal Scions coming in as a foil mythic from the main set. Very nice to see that mythic in foil, followed by a human and a food token. So let's see. Let's redo our piles a little bit. Let's have a mythic pile, and we'll have just our rare pile, and then our big hitters up top. I want to make sure that everything stays in focus. All right, moving on to pack number 3 here. So we got Prophet of the Peak, followed by a Maraleaf Rider, True Love's Kiss, a Malevolent Noble. Then we got a Moonlit Scavengers, Rimrock Knight, followed by Oakham Ranger, Archon of Absolution, Revenge of the Ravens, very tough card. And then we're going to see a Mythic Realm Cloaked Giant. Very nice to see that. Add that to our Mythic pile. Then we're going to see a Lovestruck Beast Rare, Rosethorn Acolyte, and we're going to see a Steelbane Hydra rare coming in from the main set, with Rankle Master of Pranks Mythic Borderless coming in. Very nice to see Rankle. Rankle is currently right at $14. And then we see the Midnight Clock with a fairy and a food token. Very cool to see that. So no Great Henge yet, but there are currently 15 cards valued over $10 available to us in these packs. So fingers crossed that we find a few more. We've already got 2. We've got a Silver Flame Squire, a Vantress Paladin, Jousting Dummy, Rosethorn Halberd with a Tempting Witch. Then we're going to see a Scorching Dragonfire, followed by a Garenbrig Carver. Then we get a Covetous Urge with a Claim the Firstborn, Smitten Swordmaster, Fairy Godmother. Love the art on and the framing of all of these. Just so classic. Very fairy tale like. Then we get a Tuna Veil Treefolk with a Mythic Chulane Teller of Tales coming in. Very cool to see another Mythic. Then we're going to see a Stolen by Fae coming in as a borderless rare. Then we get a Castle Embereth coming in here. So there are, I think there's 5 different castles in the series. Lochthwain is the one that we're looking for. That's the most valuable one, but we'll certainly take that one as well. Then we get a bear and a food token. All right, so we get a Merchant of the Veil, followed by a Corridor Monitor. We're going to see a Golden Egg with a Fairy Guide Mother coming in foil. Beloved Princess, Festive Funeral with a Tome Rider. Ferocity of the Winds, Rally for the Throne, Beanstalk Giant, Fairy Guide Mother again, non-foil, with a Reaper of Night. Then we're going to see Taste of Death coming in from the main set as our rare, with a Piper of the Swarm coming in as our extended art rare. Then we're going to see a Faeburrow Elder in foil, with a Dwarf and a food token. So I'll be honest, that pack was not so great. All right, moving into pack number 6, our last pack in the first stack. We got the classic Ginger Brute coming in, followed by the Ogre Errant, Bartered Cow, the Rosethorn Acolyte, Steel Gaze Griffin, Brimstone Trebuchet, Garenbrig Carver. Then we're going to see the Covetous Urge, followed by Claim the Firstborn, Embereth Shieldbreaker, Beanstalk Giant, Curious Pair, and we got ourselves a Command Tower coming in, followed by Yorvo, Lord of Garenberg, an extended art with an Acclaimed Contender, and then we're going to see a Goat and a food token in the back. All right, value-wise, we've got 2 of the 15 over 10, but we're going to need at least 3 more in order to break even on this box, that's for sure. These are not cheap. I'll put all the prices at the end during the MTG box analysis, but I'm sure, as you all know, these being a little bit older do require a little bit of a premium price. So that was a Reaper of the Night. We get a Tall as a Beanstalk, Shining Armor, 7 Dwarves, Mantle of Tides, Roving Keep, Outmuscle, Elite Headhunter, Tournament Grounds, and then we're going to see a Flaxen Intruder, followed by Merchant of the Veil, another Fairy Guide Mother. Then we're going to see a Silverwing Squadron coming in as our rare, with an Outlaws Merriment coming in as our mythic hit. As far as I know, it is valued just around $2. I didn't think it was one of the big ones. And then we see a Wishclaw Talisman coming in from the main set, valued just around $3 in non-foil. And then we get ourselves a Giant and a food token. All right, next pack up. We're going to kick this one off with the Lochthwain Gargoyle, Insatiable Appetite, Trapped in a Tower, Lost Legion, Weaselback Redcap, a Mystic Sanctuary. We're going to see a Sage of the Falls, Order of Midnight, Maraleaf Pixie, followed by an Animating Fairy, Oakham Ranger, Rimrock Knight. Then we're going to see Elena Artful Provocateur coming in from the main set as a mythic hit. And then right behind that, we get a Wildborn Preserver in borderless, and then a Wicked Wolf, and a Human food token. Come on, Great Hench. Preferably the extended art foil version. The extended art non-foil is going for $82 right now. I'll even take it from the main set. That's currently going for $56. All right, so we got a Crystal Slipper, Garenbrig Paladin, a Prize Griffin, Lash of Thorns, followed by Queen of Ice, the Raging Redcap, Clockwork Servant, Rampart Smasher, Flaxen Intruder. We get the Giant Killer, rare showcase, with a Merfolk Secret Keeper, Silverflame Squire. Then we're going to see a Chittering Witch coming in from the main set, and Icencrag Feet coming in Borderless. Does hold a little bit of value. And then we get an Opportunistic Dragon coming in from the main set as our rare. And we get a Wolf and a food token. So we started off strong, and now we're just kind of milling through the packs here. They're going to outflank with a Giant Skewer, Merchant of the Veil, Corridor Monitor, Golden Egg, Fairy Guide Mother. Definitely have a playset of that now. Then we get a Sage of the Falls, Order of Midnight, Marleaf Pixie again, another Order of Midnight, Garen Brig Carver, followed by Reaper of the Night. Then we're going to see Bramble Fork Fink with an Oathsworn Knight coming in Borderless, followed by a Charming Prince in foil extended art with a cute little mouse and a food token. All right, 2 packs remaining. All right, Wishful Merfolk. Woo. Here we go. Wishful Merfolk. Then the Ardenvale Tactician, followed by Fell the Pheasant, Ardenvale Paladin, with a Blood Haze Wolverine, Runaway Together, Shepherd of the Flock, Mystical Dispute, Once and Future, Lonesome Unicorn, the Merfolk Secret Keeper, then the Tunavale Treefolk, with Oko's Hospitality, not quite Oko himself, and then we get Folio of the Fancies, and a Stonecoil Serpent coming in the back in foil extended art, with a Human Rogue and a food token. All right, final pack, final chance. Fingers crossed really hard on this one. All right, we got the Blood Haze Wolverine, followed by a Runaway Together, Borrow Witches, Wolf's Quarry, Knight of the Keep, Reaper of Night, another Cauldron Familiar, Flaxen Intruder, Mysterious Pathlighter. Then we're going to see a Bone Crusher Giant coming in as our rare and showcase. Then we're going to see a Merfolk Secret Keeper, a Silverflame Squire, and we are going to see Rowan Fearless Spark Mage coming in as our mythic hit, or as a mythic hit. And then we get Castle Vantress coming in extended art. This is going to be valued around $8. And our last card is a Once Upon a Time in foil extended art with a boar and a food token. All right, so I'll get everything sorted, organized, and be right back with the MTG box analysis. In today's MTG box analysis, we'll start off with a review of the set distribution for Throne of Eldraine. Then we'll move on to comparing the cards we were eligible to see inside the Collector Booster Pack to the cards we actually saw in today's box. Then we'll take a look at set coverage, coverage by rarity, and duplication. From a value perspective, we'll take a look at the value of the cards available in the set, and then break down the actual observed value. Finally, we'll conclude with a summary. If you want to go deeper into the analysis and see all of the metrics for this box and almost 100 others, simply join the channel at the Give Me the Data level. Let's start out by taking a look at the set distribution for Throne of Eldraine. On the surface, the set is pretty straightforward. There are a total of 391 cards, 37 for each color, 30 multicolor, 20 basic lands, 12 non-basic lands, and 121 other cards. Now, Throne of Eldraine was pretty revolutionary as a set because it was the first to include showcase cards. Now, the set was sold in 4 different Brawl decks, 2 Planeswalker decks, 5 different theme boosters, a standard bundle, a gift bundle, as well as draft and collector boxes. And yes, this was the first set to also offer collector booster boxes. Now, in these collector booster boxes, you're eligible to see all of the Borderless showcase as well as Planeswalker deck cards, Brawl deck cards, and extended art cards in non-foil. In foil, we're eligible to see every single card from the set except for the Planeswalker deck and Brawl deck categories. Next, let's compare the cards we were eligible to see versus the actual cards we saw in this box. Using this chart, we can see the foils we observed in orange, the non-foils in green, and the set in gray as the baseline. In the non-foil space, we saw a total of 36 showcase cards, 4 cards from the Planeswalker decks, 8 from the Brawl decks, and 12 non-foil extended art cards. In the foil space, we saw a very consistent distribution with a variance of only 3 cards between the primary colors of Magic. We also saw 13 foil showcase and 4 foil extended art cards. Moving into coverage, in the non-foil space, we saw 25 of the 30 showcase cards for 83% coverage. We didn't see any of the borderless cards, but we did see 40% of the Planeswalker deck cards, 40% of the Brawl deck cards, and 21% of the extended art cards. In total, we saw 49 unique non-foil cards, providing us with 40% coverage of the cards we were eligible to pull. In the foil space, we saw 106 unique cards out of a possible 340, which means that we saw 31% of the cards we were eligible to see. Among the primary colors of Magic, our highest coverage was a two-way tie between white and red, each with 41% coverage. Pivoting to coverage by rarity, in the non-foil space, we saw 75% of the commons and 82% of the uncommons we were eligible to pull. We also saw 19 rares for 28% coverage and 6 mythics for 29% coverage. In the foil space, we saw 61% of the commons, 27% of the uncommons, and 11 rares for 10% coverage, plus a single foil mythic for 3% coverage. In total, we saw 30 rares and 7 mythics in these 12 packs. From a duplication standpoint, we saw 22 cards repeated 25 times for a box duplication rate of 14%. The majority of the duplication was in the showcase category. Before we take a look at the value in this collector booster box, let's take a look at the set value using this chart, which shows non-foil market prices as of March 27, 2023. Currently, there are 15 cards valued over $10. The top 2 are the Great Henge, with the standard frame currently valued at $56.85 and the extended art valued at $82.63. The set also features 21 cards valued between $5 and $10 and 61 cards valued between $1 and $5. The remaining 273 cards are currently valued less than $1. Now that we have an understanding of the set value, let's review the actual value we saw in this box starting off in the non-foil space. Of the 15 cards valued over $10, we saw 2. They were the Extended Art Hushbringer, valued at $10.10, and the Rankled Master of Pranks, valued at $14.01. We also saw 3 cards valued between $5 and $10, and 11 cards valued between $1 and $5. The other 44 non-foils that we saw are currently all valued less than $1. In the foil space, we saw 3 big hits, including the Extended Art Charming Prince, valued at $15.52, Once Upon a Time, valued at $18.70, and the Stone Coil Serpent, valued at $20.21. We also saw 1 foil valued between $5 and $10, and 13 foils valued between $1 and $5. The other 103 foils in the box are currently valued less than $1. So how did this box perform? Well, I purchased this a few weeks ago from Card Kingdom for $319.99. Now, the current market price for these boxes as of March 27, 2023 is $282.53. However, in my defense, I did purchase this box with store credit, which means that it only cost me $246.16 in trade because of the 30% bonus pushed me over the top to $320 in credit. Today's collector booster box did contain 12 packs with 15 cards each, allowing us to see 180 total cards. We did see a few valuable tokens in the box, giving us $12.34 in total market value. The 101 commons in the box have a current combined value of $30.07. The 42 uncommons have a combined value of $24.40. The 30 rares are currently valued at $109.83, and the 7 mythics have a combined value of $30.99. Add it all up, and the grand total for this box is a very disappointing $207.63, which is technically a loss of $112.36, and it means that this box only returns 65% of the actual purchase price. Now, for those of you interested in cards valued just over $2, the numbers look like this. In total, we saw 17 cards valued over $2 in this box, and they have a current combined value of $127.81, which means that those 17 cards represent 62% of the total box value. Thank you so much for watching. Now I'm going to go out there and pre-order some Lord of the Rings collector boxes so I can actually get a Great Henge. Until next time, do something amazing.